last of our mentorship calls today of this academy, and I have had a blast. It's not our last day because we have our graduation ceremony on Saturday. Today's Thursday, so it's coming up soon. Marie, hello, nice to see you. But yeah, this is kind of in this formal container that we have been in over this last 6 months. This is our final day to go over your practice sessions or your paid sessions, to talk about your strategies for reaching out into the community, ways that you can be continuing your involvement with us so that you can keep your momentum going, and anything else that you need, really. Today's a bit of a flex day that way. Kirsten, hello. Nice to see everybody. Love it. So I'm in People's area. This is the Sunshine Coast. And I'm so grateful that they have looked after this area for millennia because it's a charmed part of the world. And although it's cold, I've got my sweater and my wool socks on. It's beautiful. Not like the Okanagan, which is 30 degrees, which I also love so much, but this is good too. So I'm going to open up the floor for you. Anyone who has any treatment sessions that they want to talk about, any kind of challenges that you're experiencing, any kind of feedback you're looking for on your treatments, on your clients, this is a good time. So who's got something that I want to get some help with? Jen Ridout.
Hi. So
Hello.
I just have a person that I've been working on. We've done several sessions together, and she's been feeling really giving me lots of great feedback and getting some sensation back, quite a bit of sensation back where she had none. This last time when she came in, she has a co-current shoulder issue that's been going on since before her mastectomy. And it's getting worse. She had a cortisone shot a couple weeks ago. And then she came in for this appointment, she mentioned that she does have a little bit of a dog ear, sort of in her axilla. And it seemed like she's got some fluid buildup there, which I definitely was addressing, particularly on this last treatment. But she said that she's finding it's like a stinging sensation under her bra, which I hadn't really experienced before. And I'm just curious if you have any insight into that. Like, I'm wondering if it's like the nerve endings that are being, like, she is getting more sensation there, or if it's something else that I might want to be cognizant of or concerned with. So
the stinging is around the dog ear location.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
right, and hers is right in the armpit. It is right under where her bra sits. She has to choose if the dog ear goes behind the bra or underneath it, or I mean on top of it, sort of where the bra sits.
Awkward.
Yeah, it is awkward. And then I definitely would say that this last time I do see that there's more fluid there than there has been on any of the previous treatments. And so yeah, I'm just curious on any thoughts you might have on it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like, for one, the dog ear's just getting irritated because it's constantly being interrupted by fabric. So it's an unfortunate location where it can't just sit kind of in that, there's often with a bra, there's like the elastic, and then there's a little bit of a gap zone in there where the fabric is not as intense. And it sounds like it's not sitting in that spot. It's sitting kind of more where the elastic is. So she either has to pull her bra underneath or push it up so that it's sitting more in that neutral zone. So it may be partially just aggravation, just straight out aggravation. It's just getting rubbed all the time. But it is possible with dog ears that nerves can start to grow in there and it forms a kind of a neuroma, not necessarily a whole snarled ball like the neuroma in your foot, but it can get sprouts that are growing up in there. And then they're continually giving off these signals like, I'm being choked Oh, ah, too small area. And then, so what you want to do is try and create as much opportunity for slide and glide in there as possible. You want to, any adhesions that might be in the area, you want to try and release those, and then accessing fluid in between the layers of tissue so that even if there are nerves in there, they're moving, they're not getting stuck and trapped. So the very gentle shearing, trying to build up the hyaluronan in the area and creating that opportunity between the layers of connective tissue for that fluid slide and glide will help the nerve sprouts not, get that dry chafing that's happening by the sounds of it.
Okay, great. That
So
is
that's something to
what I did.
consider. That is what you did?
Pretty much, yeah. So that, I mean, that's
Okay,
just
great.
what it felt like needed, but yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. And then also working in the surrounding areas so they're not additionally sending pain signals through. That's the
Right.
intact nociceptor hypothesis, where the
Mhm.
distressed nerves are like, I can't carry the signal through. So you on either side of me who are functioning well, you got to carry the signal for me. So you
Uh-huh.
want to make sure those areas are happy and not sending pain signals through. So I mean, one of the ways that I found for reducing the pain signals is just that long compression and
Mhm.
sometimes a little bit of a shear at the same time. And then that way the nerves, they're kind of being put to sleep. It's like a slow press, and then they're like, I'm really awake, but I'm not so awake. And now I'm actually feeling really sleepy, and oh, they just kind of, settle down.
Yeah,
So those would be the things I would suggest.
that's amazing. I do think there's a component. She's got a lot of challenging, really tough things in her life right now, and the people she's supporting and who are supporting her. And so I can really see how that's affecting how she's feeling in her body right now too. But yeah, it was just the stinging was such an interesting choice of word to describe the sensation as opposed to
Yeah.
like burning or tingling or yeah. So, but
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And stinging sounds very active to me. It sounds very nervous system and very active. Like
Mhm.
sometimes, nerves can or pain can feel different ways, more like an ache or a throb or some of those things. But the stinging is very, yeah, it's like I'd say that's more distress signals. Nerves, when they're waking up, often feel itchier. They feel like skittering sensations across the skin. It feels like there's slightly altered sensation. Sensation is returning, but it's not quite what it was before. Like those kinds of things usually indicate more the nerves are regenerating. But stinging is more like I'm distressed.
I
Yeah.
know, so that made me wonder if I should be like getting her to check it out with her doctor, like just because that is an interesting term, but
I don't really know what a doctor would do about it, to be honest. They
right.
probably wouldn't look at the dog ear. Um, the only other option if a dog ear does get continually bothersome and you just can't get on top of the, curbing the uncomfortableness of it, is to get it surgically removed. You go in and get a revision surgery to just get that sliced away. But lots of people just don't want to face another surgery for a variety of reasons.
Hmm.
So yeah, try the strategies that we just outlined and then see how that goes.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Amanda Muchella.
Just on that,
Okay.
I do have another question, but Jen, just on that, I had a client that was having irritation of some of the scars that way as well. And she used that silicone tape, like the scar tape, and that seemed to really help just take that frictioning and that rubbing because it is kind of thicker and so it's a little bit cushiony. I don't know if it'll work for her or help her, but that might be something she might want to try over the like the dog ear part. It helps it lay a little bit flat, and then if the bra does happen to rub on it, I mean, it's not going to stop all the irritation, but maybe that'll help. Like, I don't know, it might be something to try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great suggestion. Absolutely.
Um, so I actually have a
Protective. Yeah.
question about breast implant illness. And so I'm in a mom's group on Facebook, and a woman posted about her sister who just recently, all she said was breast cancer surgery. And so I was just curious, how soon after surgery could a rash appear? So she is thinking it's a reaction to the glue. I don't know all the details, but it just got me kind of thinking, like, so she has the glue that they use supposedly for the closing the incision. Now she has a rash all down the side of her body. So, and it's not as localized to just that scar area. So I was curious, like, is that common with an adhesive reaction? It's to the point, I guess they had give her some topicals. The topicals didn't help. The rashes progressed and got worse. And now the surgeon was saying, oh, just remove the glue or the adhesive. But he told her to use like nail polish remover, which I think is absolutely crazy. And like she tried washing just with soap and water, and like her skin is coming off. So I don't know the details. I'm just reading this post, and I was just curious because then I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, I wonder if she went in for immediate reconstruction. Like, did they, like, because sometimes they'll put the implant in right away, right? Is that correct with after breast cancer surgery? Will they do
Depending
that,
on
or
the type of surgery, yeah.
right?
Yep, they
Yeah.
can
So,
do,
and I
yep,
don't
they can do
have
it
all
right
the
away.
details. So, like, then I started thinking, well, could it be like, because we talked about it, and that lady that you had shared that video with, her reaction was fairly quick, but I couldn't remember how quick was quick. So that was my question in a roundabout
Right.
way. How
Yeah.
soon can you be exhibiting symptoms like that?
I would say symptoms of the adhesive and the glue, that could probably happen right away, like within 24 hours. That could come up pretty fast. The breast implant illness, the lady that we looked at, she was a couple of weeks to a month before the symptoms really got, although not on all of them. Some of them it was faster than that. So I'm not certain, like, if this lady has adhesive from bandages after the surgery, and that's what she's reacting to. So it's localized rashes to the bandages, but it sounded more like
It's like
the wound itself was
axilla.
glued shut.
Yeah, that's the way she made it sound. And it's like, there's an image that she showed, and so you can see the scar just underneath the breast, right? And then, and it's just a side view here, so I can't really see what's happening here, but it's from her axilla all the way down her side. It's not just localized to where the incision is. And it started a couple weeks after her surgery.
Right. And is that the only symptom that she's got, is a rash?
Well,
Does she have any of the other things?
I reached out to her and I just said, hey, you know, like, I'm an RMT and I see women post, you know, cancer surgery. I said it more eloquently than that. I'm sorry, my brain isn't firing well. And I just said, can I private message you and ask some questions? And I left it at that. I didn't want to say anything in the chat, in the group chat, or like chime in or make comments, because I don't really have enough information to say anymore. So I'm kind of hoping that she'll say yes,
Yeah.
and then I can
Yeah,
ask her
that would
a few
be,
more
yeah, a really
questions.
interesting. Yeah, it would be a really interesting person to work with. I haven't come across that they only use adhesive to close the wound.
Yeah,
I've never, it's not to say it doesn't happen, because I'm under no illusion that I've seen everything there is to see. It's not the case at all. But in everything that I've studied so far, stitches are always involved. So if an adhesive is happening, I mean, it would probably be on the very outermost layer of the dermis, because they're not gonna glue the inner tissues together, and rely on glue alone. Like, there's
mhm.
multiple layers of stitches for each surgery. So um, she may be allergic to the stitches. She may be allergic to the adhesive. It could be a form of breast implant illness, not necessarily related to the implant, but I mean, if she's allergic to those things, she's probably not going to be that happy with the implant either. So yeah, I think she's a situation that requires more information. But in terms of removing adhesives and things, she might want to try witch hazel instead of nail polish remover. Um, that that sounds very harsh
Yeah, I had
for the
mentioned
skin, but
that chloroplast, I'm saying it wrong, but you use it for like the stoma glue removal. So like it's a really gentle, like
right,
anti-adhesive sort of thing. And I do have another client that reacts to the
right,
glues of like bandages and stuff that I'm seeing through the mentorship. And her reactions, and I know everybody is different how they react, but it's usually like, because every time she has surgery, there's a bit of a reaction, and then she changes what she's using or whatever, the bandages fairly soon after. But usually it's a lot more localized to where the bandage is. And this is definitely a rash, not like a irritation from the glue. It's like,
irritation.
yeah. So anyways, I just thought I'd ask, like, how soon after is that potential for something like that to come up? So yeah. Anyways, I don't have
Yeah,
much
I
to say.
mean, yeah, it can come up depending on the sensitivity of the person's body. It doesn't have to be a delayed reaction. Sometimes it can come up quite quickly if a person's really like, I'm allergic. Allergic reactions can happen quite quickly, like within 24 to 48 hours to 72 hours. Like allergic reactions can happen very fast. I knew a lady who had breast implants in for a decade before she started
Oh, wow.
experiencing any breast implant illness, and she was fine. And then she started getting all these unknown symptoms, and breast implant illness at that time wasn't a thing. It wasn't recognized. People were just like, you're malingering, you're fine, just get on with life. And she was like, I actually feel bad. And that went on for another 10 years. So she had 20 years of having
Oh,
her implants, and 10 of them were terrible, poor quality of life, and 10 of them were fine. So, and then she figured out what it was and got them out. But she's like a delayed reaction. So that her I'm going to call it like a delayed allergic reaction was probably a cumulative effect. But for someone who had it only a few weeks ago and she's already got these very substantial reactions, we don't know exactly what they're to, but is definitely indicative, I would say, of more of an allergic reaction, which is like medical care.
yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Marie says, my neighbor had a lumpectomy in one breast a few weeks ago. She's doing her second week of chemo now, still working full time except today, resting, too tired. Wow, that's incredible. Do you obtain massage treatment until reaching a break of chemo and feeling stronger? Um, yeah, I mean, if you're not doing mobile, then the person has to be strong enough to be able to get to you. They don't have to get to you under their own steam. So if they have someone else who can deliver them, drive them, pick them up, facilitate the actual transport to your location, then as long as they're able to get to you, you can continue to see them. There's no reason to not see them. You would definitely have to modify your treatments because their capacity to, uptake the therapeutic style treatment would be greatly reduced. But there's no reason not to see them if they can get to you. If you can do mobile, then you can see them in their home, even if, oh yeah, okay. So if she can get to your home, which is not a big travel trip, then you can absolutely continue to see her. But a lumpectomy a few weeks ago and now in chemo and still working full time. I mean, I'm going to say for her, um, two things about that approach. One is she can't afford to take any time off, so she has to continue working. She's got no buffer zone. Or the other is she thinks she's just going to power through. It's just a lumpectomy. It's not that big of a deal, and she'll just be able to keep going. So the one has some extremely practical components to it. If you have to work because it's your income and you can't afford to miss any amount of time, then supporting her so that she can continue to work is absolutely top of the list because she has to be able to keep her lights on, she has to be able to buy groceries, and she has to be able to heal. So your treatments have to be focused on extremely restorative techniques. Probably hands, feet, and head, ironically, is some of the areas that would be the most useful for her. If it's the latter and she just feels like she's just going to power through and this isn't going to bring her down and she's not letting it stop her and that kind of thing, then it's more mindset work of like, it's okay to take time to heal. Sometimes people need permission from another person, especially if they're a go-getter by personality. They need permission from another person. This is actually appropriate to slow down. You're not doing nothing. You're giving opportunity for your body to heal, and they need it reframed in a way that makes them feel like they're doing something useful. It's a productive rest. It's not, this is too much for me, I can't do it rest. Because for people who are go-getters, it's really hard to have the mindset of, I can't do it. I can't rest. I can't stop. I need to keep going. I need to be productive. That mindset, they often need that support of like, you're being productive. It's just a different style of productivity. And it's more of it's a different pace. But what you're doing is allowing your body the time and the space to heal. And chemo has a cumulative effect for most people. So she's on her second round and she's already feeling too tired, but she still has another 4 rounds to go or however many she's doing. Then, she needs to be able to give her body time to heal and heal from the intensity of the chemo. It's really important. Yeah. It sounds like a bit of both for her. I would talk to her actually and find out for sure which is it that's keeping you working like this, because it's going to change the focus of our treatments and it's going to change how I can support you. So I'm needing to know, are you continuing to work full time because of financial reasons and you actually can't stop, or you won't be able to make the end of the month? Or is it more that you're uncomfortable with slowing down? You feel like this is, you're not being productive. You don't like identifying as a sick person, that kind of thing, because it's going to change our treatment focus and how we work with things. So I think getting clear with her on that will help inform what you're going to do with her. Yeah. Is that good? Okay. Amazing. Kirsten?
It just made me think of a couple of things just because I'm working with a client who's also going through chemo, but I think I've talked about this with where we live and we're in a really active community. So this person's on their 3rd round of chemo and feeling super fine and energized and mountain biking and e-biking and all of that. And they seem to be really like empowered by doing it. Like they're starting to lose their hair, but they're able to still bike. And it seems fine to me, but I always am just like amazed by how much people keep going. And she has reacted poorly in the past. Like when she got her lumpectomy, her physio was like, do not do everything you're doing right now. You could tear it. So then she went through the shame and then held back. But now she's in the chemo stage. And I just sort of wonder about that balance with the exercise and the rest and how to present that, because like I said, she's coming in being like, this is awesome for me and this is what I'm doing and I feel great.
I would say if she's feeling great, she's out in the woods, she's exercising, that's going to help her body heal from the chemo a lot faster. It's going to help it move through her body so that it doesn't accumulate, because her lymphatic system is able to flush it out. Her circulatory system, her digestive system is going to work better. She's getting more oxygenated. Like all of that is going to bring more life force and vitality. So she's feeling okay. I'd be like, yeah.
Okay.
If she's feeling like, I actually feel like I'm really pushing through to be able to do this, and I'm more exhausted afterwards than when I started, then I'd be like, this is not helpful for your
that
body.
doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So for her, she's like, I'm not feeling like death. I'm enjoying life. I'm doing all my happy making activities. getting myself out in the places where it, I feel the best, like
Yeah.
those things are great. So if she's
Yeah.
feeling like
It's pretty impressive.
I'm good, like
Yeah.
in a legitimate way, then yeah, keep supporting her in that. I love it when I come across people who are having a great
Yeah.
healing experience.
It's
So nice.
true. She does feel pretty
Yeah.
stoked. The other thing she gave me the feedback on, which was kind of interesting, was she said so the physio that she sees also works with breast cancer patients and does massage within the treatments. But she was saying that often she'll massage and then stop and be like, anyways. So I was saying, and she talks with her hands, and she's like, it's really jarring for her to not have the hands on the body all the time. And I was just saying, well, yeah, I'm not actually sure. I haven't found out what kind of training this person has yet. But yeah, it's just, and then she gave me the feedback. She's like, I love that your hands just stay on my body and I know where you are. But she's like, it's a really weird feeling when you kind of open your eyes and you see the person talking with their hands and then the hands go back on. So it was just a good reminder how that contact is comforting
And build safety. Yeah. Because if someone, for sure, because they're getting into this receptive zone where they can allow the treatment and, they're lying back and they're like, okay, this is good. I can let this happen. And then it keeps getting interrupted. And then they're like, can I let this happen? Is this what? And they start getting confused and and then like walls come up and I would imagine somebody would continue less with a person who practices like that than someone who's practicing like you're doing, where it's not like you can respond to her and you can talk with her about what she wants to talk about, but you can also continue your treatment.
Yeah, it was a good reminder. It's something that I'm just doing, but it's a good reminder that I'm doing it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. I love it. And we got Kelly coming in the room. Hooray. Okay, so I know that a bunch of you have emailed in your practice hours and your practice people, so thank you for that. Those of you who have not yet gotten that information in, then you want to get that information in so we can see how many hours you've had, how many practice sessions you've had, how many initials, how many repeats, what different types of clientele were you working with? Were they healthy breast? Were they breast cancer? Were they gender affirmation? Were they elective breast? So that's all really important information. And your videos. I know a few of you have sent in videos, so tomorrow I'm going to have a big video day where I get to do the extravaganza to give you your feedback. Lanny, your hand is up. Is this in relation to this?
Yes, sorry, I just wanted to clarify. I did send you in some stuff, but I was just thinking, so did you say you wanted us to indicate in the list of all the treatments, the like the types of clients we were working with? I think I just put in a list of like just sort of their initials and then the initial and how many subsequent treatments. So I can resend it and just add in like what types of treatments they were, basically, like revision surgery or implants or healthy breast. Okay, I'll resend that to you.
Yeah, just sort of broad categories. I think it doesn't have to be super specific, but we just want to know, like, are you seeing more breast cancer related people? Are you seeing more trans people, more, healthy breasts? Like, what's the population that you've been focusing on? And then it's really important to know how many practice hours you've gotten, how much hands-on experience you've gotten throughout the program. And that's also not only for you so that we can, help support your growth and development, like you meaning everybody here, but also for future people who are coming in and doing it so that we get a good sense of how many hours are you actually getting while you're in here. Because one of the main focuses is to ensure that A, you get hands-on experience while you're in the program, and B, you're graduating with people in your book. So you're actually leaving the program with paying clients. So who's in that category? Put a yes in the chat. If you're in the category, you're leaving the program with patients who are going to be continuing with you and they are paying clients. Okay, 1,
Sorry,
2,
Erin, can I just ask
3,
one more
4, 5,
question about
6,
that?
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, great. This is terrific. Yes,
Was
absolutely.
it,
Ask away.
did you want, so I think I just had written down number of treatments specifically, but you want to know actually how many hours specifically of hands-on? Like if a treatment's generally an hour and a quarter kind of thing, or is,
At this stage, I'm
sorry.
just counting 1 hour per person, 1 hour per appointment,
Okay.
even though it might actually be more. Maybe you're doing 75, maybe you're doing 90, maybe you're doing 2 hours. I'm just at this stage for simple math. I'm counting them as 1 hour per person.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And sorry, one more thing. I just had to say, sorry. If I leave for 20 minutes, can I jump back on my phone? If I leave the
Yes.
Zoom, I just have to take my kids for a haircut. So, okay, I will be back.
Yeah. Are they getting your fabulous colors?
Uh, no, they're just getting their hair chopped because it's getting unmanageable right now. So, but I just have to leave
Oh, right.
in about 10 minutes and then I'll be back. Like I can jump back on at 3 o'clock. I'll just be on my phone instead. So thanks.
Sounds good. Yeah,
Thank you.
no worries. Yeah. Okay, so this is good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So how many are we here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're 14. Okay, so 14 and 12 of us are leaving with paying clients, which is amazing. Amanda Mangle says, I'm still offering for free, but my client last night who said yes actually paid me. My next one tonight is free, and I have some others who are wanting me to offer free. I'm sure that they are continuing to want you to offer for free. However, the time now is to move into paid clients. If you come across people that you're like, whoa, that's an advanced presentation, you've had 6 surgeries this year, plus you're going through radiation, do her for free and just be like, I'll do a series with you because you're an advanced situation. But for other people, it's definitely time to move into paid treatments. The gal last night was her very first time and she loved it. Amazing. I love that. Yeah. Like first time massage ever or first time with you getting this style of treatment?
She actually booked with me for a therapeutic. She's one of my monthly clients. And while she was on the table, towards the end of the session, I said, yeah, I'm checking my phone to see if I have messages because I put it out there on Facebook because I was trying to get last minute people because my scheduling with some other people I wanted to get in, it never worked. So when you said videos, I was panicked. So I'm like, oh no. So she's like, well, if you need it for class, I'll help you. I was like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I have nipple covers. She's like, that's fine. She'd never had anything like that. She didn't even know anything about what something like that would feel like. And I worked on her for an hour. No, actually, it was a little over an hour. But anyway, it was great. And she went to sleep and she woke up and she's like, you know how, like, when you go get a massage and you're lucky enough to find a therapist that will actually spend time on your hands because most don't. And then like you don't even realize like how nice it feels to have your hands worked on until they get there and then you realize like you really needed it. She's like, that's how this feels. She says, I feel like this completed something that I never even knew needed to have completed. And she's like, I am wowed. This was great. And this was just circulatory because she has no issues. She was just helping me so I could get you a video last night. but then during the session, my other girl who was had mastectomy without reconstruction, she reached out. She's like, I'll do it. And I was like, okay. So I'm working on her for free just because she said yes and I could get her in tonight. So you get another one from me. But it gets me hours. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, hours and more hands-on experience, which is great. But I love what she said there. I didn't even realize that I needed it until now. I feel the difference, and it made me realize like this is something that I've needed that I didn't even know that I needed. And I mean, how many of you have had that kind of feedback from people where they're like, "Whoa, yeah, I didn't even know that I could feel this way, or that yeah, what it was like to constantly have this part of my body being ignored. And now I have the experience of it not being ignored, and it's very different. Alyssa said, every healthy breast massage patient. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. And so many people are like, oh, I always go get a massage for my back because I've got that mid back pain and nobody can get on top of it. And now we've done breast massage and worked on my chest and, my diaphragm and all these areas in the front that usually are ignored. And all that pain, it's completely gone from the back of my body. And I didn't even know that you could do this in the front. And, because breasts spend most of their time congested into too tight bras, too tight clothing, restrictive garments, none of the fluid can really move in there. It just gets very stagnant and very, everything's compressed. And so when you get that dilation of everything in there, it can be like, whoa, I can breathe better and I feel like everything's fuller. And yeah, this is such a different sensation than anything they've had before. Annabelle.
I was going to say exactly sort of somewhat along the lines of what you just said, because in our culture, in the Western culture, it's just not a done thing. So I think our general population for those people with breasts just don't think about asking to have their area touched because it's a hidden away, shame, oh no, that's private, that's mine, that's sexual, oh, you don't see my breast, unless you want to go to, Wreck Beach and, topless places, right? So you're quite comfortable with that. But I mean, I don't necessarily go around saying, hey, would you like me to massage your breast, but just I think having that information perhaps in our clinics and sort of having like, I'd like to have like a flyer or something up at the front desk explaining about, what healthy breast massage is. Even actually a big man, I'm not sure if he booked in with me, if the reception booked him in with me, but he was looking at the business cards. And because mine aren't updated yet, I had little stickers that our front desk can make. They have a sticker machine, right? And it said, and I put oncology elective breast practitioner on the top of my cards. And he went, breast practitioner? What's a breast practitioner? He goes. And then the front desk starts telling him, and then I come out, that's me. And he was like, oh, and he actually explained about, I think, his partner or someone else that he knew who had it. So even for men, to see it as well, they think, oh, okay, I could pass that on. And on the funny note, quickly,
Absolutely.
on a quick cool note, if your crocheted double breast squishy thing that someone made for you, squishy thing, you know what I mean?
We do. The breast pillow.
My colleague, she's crocheting, and she was showing me some of her stuff yesterday when she was leaving. She was showing a few of us, and she makes penises as well and other things and just fun stuff. But anyway, I went, oh. And Kelly, one of our colleagues, said, you should make some breasts for Annabelle. So anyway, she's going to make me a double, with different colors, double one. So if I'll show it to you all when it's done, and if you're interested and you want something made for you as a, just a way to maybe show an example of how to do breast massage or certain techniques on your model or something like that, let me know. She'll take some orders. So yeah.
I love it. Super. Thank you. Yeah, that's fun. Those pillows make great party favors also, just saying. They're fun to bring out and see people's reactions to. One time I was having a meeting with somebody, it was like a business networking meeting, and I forgot that I had the pillow on the back of the couch. And so I was doing this business meeting and I had this breast pillow right here. And finally she's like, okay, I just have to ask, like, what's up with the breast pillow there? And I was like, oh, I forgot I had it. So, good conversation opener too. But yeah, I love that. You can demonstrate on it what it is that you would do with breast massage and mobilizations, and yeah, it's got good options. And also you could just have it in your room as one of those things to let people know this is a part of the body that you work with, and just to make it seem kind of normalize the whole process. Yeah, those are good little visual tools. Like people in meditation centers have statues of Buddhas. You're a breast practitioner, you could have a pillow of the breast. Yeah, Love it. Merci. Kirsten, yes.
One more question. I'm just curious because we're talking about it, like how common it is for booking in for therapeutic breast massage, because that's not really been happening on our end. And I haven't necessarily focused my marketing on that. So I recognize, I mean, it's always there and it's talked about and it's on our website and it's all in the places, but basically we're getting more post-surgical. But I was thinking about that it was something that I was like, oh, I'd like to offer more healthy breast massage, also just to get my hands on healthy breasts so that you sort of know those differences between the two. And I know from talking to Paula, like she said, sometimes she might, during a regular massage, sort of introduce the idea, not the treatment, but introduce the idea to the client in that time. And yeah, it's just sort of interesting to sort of see that. I think that so far we're getting this demographic coming in with the surgeries, but not necessarily the people coming in that are like, yeah, let's massage my breasts. That would be good for me.
Yeah, it would be really good. And some of it, I used to offer it as a regular thing. I would say healthy breast massage. I don't actually have that anymore in my roster, but I did for many years.
Mm-hmm.
And I had about probably 4 or 5 women that would come in with some regularity, often around their menstrual cycle, so that they could help with the tenderness and the congestion that they would feel. Their breasts would just feel very kind of heavy and sore, and just feeling like sometimes they would get pinkish, like things just are backing up in there. I had another lady, and this was interesting. She was suffering from some pretty significant headaches, and she couldn't really get on top of what the headaches were doing. And so she thought, well, healthy breast massage, I don't know, maybe it'll do something. And she was also working with a naturopath who was saying her liver was very congested. So her headaches were around her menstrual cycle, and her breasts would get very sore, and she would get these headaches, and she was like, maybe there's a correlation, I don't know. So she came in, and we were doing treatments with her breast. Definitely cleared up so much of the tenderness that she was experiencing. I also did, from my energy healing work, work to help cleanse her liver, and helped with her intercostals and her breathing, and her headaches decreased considerably, as well as the tenderness that she experienced during her menstrual cycle. So there's uses for healthy breast massage that are really can impact somebody's quality of life. But it has to be talked about, because people aren't going to seek it out without that prompting and reasons as to why.
And I think more that you might have, like, so far with the people they're like, oh, I have breast cancer, or I have top surgery, and now that area has gone through that, versus like it is difficult, even in general massage, for people to think about preventative care and coming in, because that would feel good and be good for me in the long run. They usually are like, I have a torn rotator cuff, so now I'm here. So it's a shift in in helping people, guide them in that way.
Yeah, and people definitely need to be prompted as to why preventative care is important.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I used to talk about was the red flag factors for breast cancer, such as stress, inflammation, like low oxygenation in the blood and the area, being like stuck in trauma, carrying trauma in your body. I would talk about those things in the, like, as preventative care and health massage realm. And so then I did get some people who are coming in for healthy breast massage, specifically for preventative care against breast cancer, because they had family members who'd had breast cancer and they did not want to get breast cancer. So they were like, I know massage isn't going to cure me that way, but I know I want to do everything I can to avoid the possibility. So I want to work on my stress. I want to work on my inflammation. I want to make sure that my blood is, oxygenated, I'm breathing better and all those things. So I think it really depends on positioning. Yeah. Yeah. Teresa. Where'd you go? You just jumped on my screen. Oh, there you are.
Am I on right now? Can you hear me?
You are on, baby.
Oh, I guess I was on the whole time.
Loud and proud.
I was just going to share, last week, one of my clients who I haven't seen for a while emailed me quite panicked saying, I felt something in my breast and I'm really worried about it. And can I come see you for some lymph drainage? And I emailed her back and I said, well, I'd like you to go and see your doctor first and just get that checked out and make sure that, make sure it isn't something before I treat you. So she did that. And then I just followed up with a phone call, and she had been in to see her doctor. Her doctor had done a breast exam and cleared her and said everything's fine. So she came in yesterday just for a healthy breast massage. So I did some manual lymph drainage with her and healthy, like the circulatory techniques. And I also gave her the information about the thermography because she's somebody who's open to, looking at different types of screening, I guess, that she could do. She seemed open to that. So I was happy to have all that information to share with her. And yeah, it was just a really positive experience for both of us. And it was just serendipitous that she contacted me. Like, she didn't know I was doing this work. When I spoke with her on the phone, I said, well, it just so happens I'm taking this course and I would love, to work with you if you want to come in for a healthy breast massage after being cleared by her doctor. So it's like that saying, if you build it, they will come. And that's sort of, what I feel that situation was. It was like, oh, she's just contacting me out of the blue, asking for breast massage. And, I had never worked with her in that way before. So it was good experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And how did she get your name?
Well, she is a previous client of mine. I just hadn't seen her for a few
previous
years.
client.
And the other
Oh,
interesting
okay.
thing is that she's also going through a lot of just stress in her life. She's been reconnected with her father. They sort of had an estranged relationship, and he's been recently diagnosed with cancer. So she just had all that fear as well around that and the emotion. So yeah, it was nice to be able to just bring her in and give her a safe space to be calm and relax for a period of time.
Totally. Yeah. And help with those coping mechanisms, and getting reconnected with your estranged father in itself is a big deal in your life. And then also, if he's got a potentially mortal illness, that's also a very big deal. So those are two very big deal things. And to have her reconnect with you in this way is probably going to really help her cope through those very challenging situations. And if now she's got on her radar, oh, maybe I should, I had a scare, I got checked out, everything's fine, thankfully, but maybe I now have on my radar doing preventative care, then you can talk to her about, cancer really likes stress, cancer likes inflammation, cancer likes a hypooxygenated, hyperglycemic, like it likes sugar and it doesn't like oxygen. I can't think of the exact words right now, but talk to her about those things, and those are often directly applicable with lifestyle factors and the part that you can play in her preventative journey. Yeah,
Great, thanks.
Amazing, love it. Annabelle says, my colleague can make different size single breasts and double on a rectangular cushion, different colors and types of wool too. I'll talk to her and get some ideas of pricing. Once I get mine next week, I'll share pick and price. I don't know how much yet, as she's only given as a gift so far while she practiced. Yeah, new cottage industry. She'll take over the world with breast pillows. You never know. It could catch on. Like, there's no way. Yeah. There's no way as we move forward into the future that women's bodies are not going to be more acceptable to work with, that women's health is going to get less important. It's going to get more important because women are standing up and speaking up a lot more than they did before. And society in general is moving towards supporting the feminine, at least in this part of the world. So breast massage is only going to become more common, and you're getting on the bandwagon early. If you project yourself forward 10 years, it will be so much more understood and so much more accessible than it is now. So you're positioning yourself early for a new type of care, and there's going to be more and more people coming out of the woodwork who are wanting this type of work, even if they haven't had any surgery and they want to get their breast work done. They're tired of having this part of their body be like full of shame. Nobody can see it, can't talk about it, must tuck it away. Only under very specific circumstances can it come out and, breathe. And I just don't think women are going to stand for it for that much longer, to be honest. I think women are like, things need to change. Yeah. Care for our bodies is one of them. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So let's talk about ways that you can stay involved, because I know this is something that we've been kind of bandying around, and I've been talking to you collectively and also individually about what you would need and what would be useful for you. And I really want to make sure that the work that we're doing keeps going. So the purpose of continuing with our mentorship circle, our alumni circle, is so that you can keep the momentum going and you can continue to reach out into the world. I know we've given you so many strategies for reaching out into the world over this last 6 months, and some of you have been able to do a good chunk of them, but there's also a good chunk of you who are like, I still have a long way to go. I've done some reach outs, I've done, some, but there's a lot more that I need to do. And I want to continue to support you in this process, because if you're building momentum, you need to keep going. And the easiest way to keep going is in a group of people who are also on the same journey. So I really want to provide an opportunity for you to stay involved and for you to be able to keep, connected with each other in a way which is beyond social media. It has us gathering together and then continuing to implement the strategies that you've been learning, and also to continue to implement the material so that you can continue to learn as you get new patients in. You need to refer to that information, watch the videos, look at the library, all of that, then you're going to have that opportunity. So I'm just going to pull up some slides. So we've got some visuals here of what we can look at. So this is the MG Alumni Circle, and it's different than just the community because this is more of an active state of people who are continuing to circle with each other and continuing to be, a part of each other's journey. We really want you to stay connected, to keep your momentum going, and really have that ongoing support. The resources are there. It's super important that you stay connected with each other. And we got this really collaborative network of people that we've bonded with over the last 6 months. And, I don't know about you, I think it's probably true that they're now moving into beloved colleagues where you feel, you feel something for them. It's more than just the, wow, that was a great course, see you later. It's like we've actually had an experience together. So supporting you beyond your graduation, this is really, really important. The resources that we have, the network that we have, these will help you continue your professional development. So some of the prime focus is to help you draw in new clients, continue to get your hands-on experience. I know for a lot of you, you're like, I'm great on the theory, but I still need more hands-on experience. So I want to continue to support you to get your hands-on experience and to build stronger referral relationships with the world around you. You want to continue to reach out to the doctors. You want to continue to make connections with the oncologist, with the chiropractors, the naturopaths, like all those medical people in your area. Also, the different groups that are online, and also the shops and services. They may not be doctors, but they're servicing the people in different ways. We want to continue to support you to be able to do that so that it becomes stronger and stronger for your practice. Now, one of the things, this is a changing world, it's in flux all the time. So having some security is really welcome for a lot of people. And one of the best ways to feel secure is through collaboration. When we're connected with each other, then we form kind of more of a life raft. So if you can continue with our dedicated community, you can continue to share your experiences, you can discuss your treatment scenarios like we were doing today, and also receive real-time feedback and support on your patients and your marketing and your community reach out. So some of you might be like, can you look at my webpage and see if this is good? Or can you look at my social media posts and see if I can improve on these somehow? Or, oh, I reached out to this organization, it works so well. I want to be able to share with everybody else what worked so we can pay it forward and it's easier for everybody else. Then those are the kinds of things that can happen when you're in a collaborative state. I want to be able to continue to give you access to the resources. So all the training videos from our classes and also from our mentorship calls, all those are still going to be available to you. So you can review anything at any time. And I'll continue to bring new research and new treatment information to the table so that you're not just, have information that you got in the course. As new information comes up, you'll be able to keep on top of it. And it's an ever-changing landscape. So I want to be able to provide those things for you and continue to have high-level discussions about it. As you expand your network, I want you to be able to do it with your trusted MG support behind you. So your local businesses, your community events. I know some of you are doing events in August and September. And so to be able to have, your people behind you as you're putting yourself out there is so important. Also our directory, so that you're a part of the directory, you're getting featured in the directory and you're, able to have your name out there in different places. And it will also give you an opportunity to meet the new Academy members as they're coming in so that you can expand your network, because the new cohort that's coming in are also amazing people. And if you get to meet them and you get to know other people that are around the world, then you're creating that security through an expanded network. In terms of enhancing your skills, any of the workshops that we did, you're welcome to participate in them. If you want to beef up your digital technology skills, any of the marketing workshops that we did, anything like that, you're totally welcome to audit those courses. I'll bring in some guest speakers so that you can learn from them. Teachers who teach different types of techniques. I have on my radar, haven't reached out, but I'm sure they'll say yes. Robert Libby for the ligamentous articular strain technique. His courses are amazing. Mike Rioch for the dermo-neuromodulation. We'll get some lymphatic drainage therapists in here, people with marketing and business skills, speaking skills. Like I'll get lots of guest speakers in so that we can continue to enhance your skills and your ability to present yourself to the world. This pre-session group access, I'm thinking that it's before the cohort that starts in September. You can sign on beforehand. So you have 90 minutes of time with me and you can get the one-on-one support in the group like we were doing today, where I can, listen to your treatment. I can look over your marketing material and you can continue to get that kind of support. It will be on a different day though. It will be Mondays, because for the next cohort, we're moving to Mondays. So that would be from 11:30 to 1. And then if you want to stay on for them, they go from 1 to 2:30. You want to stay on and do any of those different events that we're offering, then you can be a part of that. So you've got some pretty substantial opportunities that are ahead of you. I do want to make it very financially affordable. So it's going to be $98 a month for 6 months. Or if you do an annual subscription, then you would just do 11 months, pay for 11 months, but get 12. And if you want to upgrade to include the library, normally it's $28 a month, but you can save $10 a month, so it'd be only $18 for you. So if you wanted to do the 6 months and the library, it would be $118 a month, $116 a month. So it's very affordable. And I really want to make sure that you have that opportunity to stay involved, to continue to get your support and your resources, to stay connected with all your people and get you what you need to succeed. We've set you up really well in this 6 months, but I don't feel like everybody's finished. I feel like there's still more to go, and I would love to be able to continue to help you in this process. So if that's of interest, then I have some links that I'll send out, and you can get yourself in there, whenever you want. I think, being in there for a year is a great idea, because although it's a lot faster with a group, it still takes time to change. So, but I wasn't sure if people would want 6 months or a year. So I just thought I'll just put both out there and we'll just see what works better for you. So that's the opportunity. And I would love to know your thoughts. And if you feel like there's anything else that you want in there, I'm flexible. I can, adapt things. I can move them around and add things in, whatever you feel like is useful for you. So yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts, Teresa. This time you are muted.
Is the annual fee, do you just pay it in one lump sum, or do you pay it over like the year in like monthly installments? How is that?
I was thinking that one would just be simple, like a one and done, and then
Okay.
you just pay for the year and then it's all done. If you wanted to do it in monthly installments, it would just be 2 6-month installments.
Okay.
But there's some incentive for you to just do it all in one if you want
All in
to.
one.
But yeah, there's flexibility for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Jen says, can we start with 6 months and maybe add another 6 months later? Absolutely. Yeah. There's no restrictions that way. So you can start. That's why I wasn't sure. I was like 6 months, a year, I was going back and forth. I was like, what do people need? So I thought I would just put them both out there and see what's good for you. And if you feel like 6 months is, yeah, I feel like I can get all the support I need in 6 months, then terrific. And if you feel like I still want to be in there, then we want to just move you forward. And as we get more cohorts through, then this circle is going to get bigger and bigger, because there's going to be more people who are joining it. So it gives you more opportunity to stay connected with the group. And my vision is that this goes all over North America and eventually into the other, cultures which are close enough to us, Australia, New Zealand, and Great Britain. So you have an opportunity to meet people all over. And I really want people to just stay in it. That's why I made it a price tag, which is not too scary for people to have every month. I've bandied around a few different options there, and I asked my pendulum. I don't know if any of you do pendulums for your big decisions. The way to contact with your higher self. And I kept going through these different prices, and it just kept coming back to $98. And I was like, 98, okay, yeah, I think I can work with that. Actually, originally I was like, oh, we're including my time, I don't know. But it feels like that's very good, because I really want people to be involved over the long term, because when you're making change, you're creating a movement, it's not an overnight thing. And so I want people to be able to stay involved, to stay updated, to stay current, and to stay connected. And I don't want it to be out of reach. So that's some of my thoughts on the whole thing. Yeah. I'd love to hear any more of your thoughts. Ooh, 2 thumbs up from Jen Rideout. Yay. Anyone else? Questions? Anything else you'd like to see in there? Any other experiences you'd like to have? Oh, she says, sounds great. I'm definitely in. Yay. That's amazing. I love it. Did people have a sense over whether 6 months is better or a year is better? Renata says, sounds really great. Amazing. People are writing in the chat. 6 months or a year? What do you feel like it's better for you? A year of low-key follow-up sounds perfect. Okay, amazing. That's great. A year. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, because probably a year. Okay, great. Yeah, because this is something where, you know, it's progressive work, it's advanced work, and you're altering how you work. So, you know, anytime you make change, it requires some nurturing. Lori says a year, I'm in. Yay. Marie says probably a year. Amazing. Renata says 6 months to a year. Okay, grand. This is perfect. Amanda says I can probably commit to the 6 months. Perfect. This is terrific. Okay, great. Because we have such high level conversations when we meet, we get to talk about things that are really hard to talk about in the rest of the world. A lot of people are like, what do you do? What is that again? I've never heard that before. So to be able to know other people who are doing this work, I think is really, really key. Yeah. Okay, this is great. So I will email out the link once we're out of this call today, and everybody will get it. And there'll be one for the 6 months and one for the year. So then you can just sign yourself up, and then it's going to be 2 Mondays a month from 11:30 to 1. And then if you want to stay on for any of the other things, you could get 3 hours instead of an hour and a half, and just continue your training that way. And I'm looking forward to the guest speakers too. I think they're going to be really amazing. Okay, any other questions, thoughts, considerations? Anything else you'd like to see in there? Anything else
Erin,
I can
how
serve
much
you with? I am here
Erin,
to fill in the gap.
Erin, how much is the directory when I know you had said for now we get to be a part of the directory, but when you start charging, how much is that going to cost?
I will get back to you on that one. I don't have a price on that one at the moment. Right now, we're trying to populate it with everybody who's taken our courses. So that's our main goal right now. And then we need to push it out to all the different places. So we've got some steps to do before we start charging. Yeah. But in the directory, you have the highest level of training that's there. And we want to feature that so that when people see on the directory, who can I choose, that they would be more likely to choose people with the highest level of training as to people with only minimal training or sparse training. Yeah. Okay. And Annabelle's going to help me get it out to the College of Surgeons, right? Yeah. Yeah, she is. Amazing. Okay, well, let's talk about our graduation ceremony, which is right around the corner. I am so looking forward to hearing about your inside experiences, what you've learned, challenges you've had along the way, how you've been able to overcome those challenges. Does anybody have anything that they want to ask about or talk about on that front before we actually do it on Saturday? Is there anything anyone wants to go over? Feeling good? All right. So we've got this lovely lady who's going to be doing the Nia dance, which I spoke about before. It's a kind of dance therapy, and it's very fun. It's kind of like aerobics in a way, but not. It's more conscious movement with good music and sort of purposeful movement. It's very empowering. And you're going to want to be in something that you can move, some kind of athletic-ish wear. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be in like your Nike gear head to toe or anything, but it's something that you can move with. That's not the day to show up in a full-length dress. So she will give us a half-hour experience of the Nia dance, and it's a way we can embody and celebrate. And if you think of a culture, dance is often one of the things that, yeah, no prom dresses. Dance is often one of the things that is a part of a culture. And one of the things that I've been trying to cultivate with MG from the beginning is a culture. So we have language, which is particular to us. We have movement. We have, eventually we'll have, you know, foods and all sorts of different things that are a part of this culture that we're growing. So, you know, and dance is near and dear to my heart. It's one of those things that makes me feel completely connected. It's like a meditative, joyful, just fun experience. And I feel like I'm my most authentic self. So I want to share that with all of you because doing this work is so near and dear to my heart. When I was contemplating this, you know, ongoing project, I was like, I don't know the first frickin' thing about business. I don't know. I'm a therapist. What do I know about running an organization? Like what's in my mind? And my guides were like, Erin, don't even worry about it. You will figure those skills out as you go along. But the other parts, everything that you have lived from when you were a young child to now makes you an excellent person to move this needle forward. And, you know, you'll be supported on how to set the structure up and how to get people in and how to talk about it and all of that. Like you'll learn all that along the way. So don't even worry about those things. It's the essence of you, it's your life experience. All of that is what's central to you being a person who can help move this needle forward. So for me, doing this work is very personal. And I know people often say it's just business, it's not personal, but for me, it's not that. It is very personal. It's very central to my soul and to my purpose. And to have other people who are hearing me and who are, you know, hearing the call for themselves and feeling that corresponding desire to be a part of the solution is really meaningful. And one of the ways that I celebrate the best is through movement and through dance. So for me to be able to share that with you in a ceremony is a very beautiful experience. So I'm thrilled and I'm happy and I'm stoked to be able to share all that with you. Yeah. And then your certificates will be mailed out once I get back from the island. Which is mid-August, and then you can display your certificates with pride on your wall. They're beautiful, of course. I try and always make things which are beautiful, and they're good conversation starters as well. So when you're thinking about other ways to get people into your practice who are open to this style of treatment, the certificates actually do a lot because people are like, what's that all about? And it opens the conversation and also lets people know that you are legitimate. So that's grand. Okay. Flex time, 15 minutes. Who's got something? Those are all the things that I wanted to bring to the table. So you have me for another 15 minutes. You have each other. Is there anything you want to discuss? Anything you want to share? Who's got celebrations? Let's do some celebrations. Let's celebrate anything from a change you've noticed from when you entered to where you are now on your second to last day. Who's got a celebration that they want to share with the group? Annabelle.
As weird as it sounds, I'm better able and more comfortable navigating a pair of breasts now, fluidly, smoothly, with more flow. You're not like, okay, where am I going? Where's your hands going? You know, you get better at just, yeah, and I think your patients always respond to that. They know if your flow generally when you treat is more fluid and less choppy, it's more therapeutic. It feels better for them, and yeah, so I'm just way more comfortable with it, you know, now than before.
I love it. Yeah, amazing. Greater confidence, greater hand skills, feeling like you know what you're doing a lot more than you did when you entered in. Yeah. Giselle, you have an appointment at 3:30, so you have to leave. No worries. Thank you for showing up today, and we will see you on Saturday. Yeah. Lisa, let's hear from you.
It's been fun to go through the learning process in that way of where you have those where you just start to feel like you're getting it and you're confident. And you're like, I've got this. And then one little thing and you're like, I don't know anything at all. And like those highs and lows. And then it's neat to be at this point 6 months later where you look at where you started and you're like, whoa, like there's a big difference here. So that's been cool. Thank you.
Totally. I love that. Yeah. Amazing. The transformation is, I think, it's one of the most exciting parts of doing programs like this, is watching people as they thrive and flourish. I was going to say thrive. I was going to mix those two words together somehow. But anyway, that growth. And like you were saying, sometimes you're feeling like, oh, I got this, no problem. And then you come across this chasm where you're like, whoa, I don't have that knowledge. I'm looking over the edge. That's a long way down. And then you're like, actually, no, I'm okay. I got this. And yeah, as you go along, you get more confidence in your clinical reasoning skills and your ability to work your way through different scenarios, because as you've noticed, put your hand up if you've noticed, there's so many different presentations with this population. Like, it's incredible the number of variety of presentations that people come with. So it's work that you never get bored with either. Has anyone gotten bored with this work? Raise your hand if you've gotten bored. No, I haven't gotten bored either. No two are ever the same. I know, so amazing. Because you would think, oh, we're just working on breast and chest. Like, isn't that going to be boring? But no, it's not. It's like you can do 100 breast and chest, and it would be very different than 100 necks and backs. Yeah, extremely different. Yeah. What other celebrations? What have we got?
Well, I've met all you girls. That's a celebration.
Yeah,
Some in
that is a good
person,
celebration.
some not. Yeah,
I
pretty
love it.
excited about that. Made some new connections and yeah, new friends. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Such amazing people. So who have you met in person?
Alyssa, Amanda Muchala,
Amanda Muchala.
and
Amazing.
Kirsten, I believe.
And
We met
Kirsten.
before? And of course, were you at the scar tissue course, Kirsten? I can't remember if I've actually met you.
Yeah. You were both
else.
at the scar tissue course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so was
I
Amanda
think that's
Muchala,
it.
and
I
so was
think that's-
Alyssa.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Love it. Yeah. I'll absolutely celebrate all of you getting to know each other. That is definitely reason to celebrate. Teresa, what about you?
Well, I'll just celebrate again. I just got business cards done. So I've had my brochures for a while, but I just was resisting Canva. And I got some business cards, and so now I'm ready to go and actually hand out some envelopes, some packages to surgeons and other healthcare practitioners and other businesses. So I'm feeling pretty happy about that.
Amazing.
It was a hurdle.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was a hurdle. Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. What was the biggest hurdle for you? What was the resistance all about?
It's just navigating Canva. Like I'd try and do something and then I would delete it and I'd be like, oh God, how do I get that back? Or I'd try and change the font size, and then I couldn't tell how it was going to appear when I actually got the card. And I mean, I only printed 50 just in case I hate them. I can, tweak them. So it's just playing around with something that you're not familiar with and getting comfortable with it and being okay with having mistakes, and you can fix them later if need be. But at least I have something to work with now. Like I was postponing it because it was like, I want it to be exactly how I want it. And now I'm like, well, just do it, do something. And then at least you can move forward. So
100%.
yeah.
100%. I will celebrate that. Progress, not perfection.
Yes.
And smart move to do a small run in the beginning, because I have yet to do a run of something that when I see it in person, I'm like, oh, I need to make a refinement on that for the next time. Like almost always there's something that you're like, I could improve on that part. But that's why, yeah, doing small runs. And in the beginning, I used to buy 1,000 or 1,500. Sometimes I think there was a couple times I bought 2,000 at a time because the price drops.
Yeah.
when you do bigger batches. And then I get them and I'd be like, I can't wait until all of these are done before I do my next round. So I wasted a lot of money with that until I found out the small batch technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Good for you. Well done. Well, I'm excited to see you as you put them out into the world, as you go out there and visit the different offices and different people and get yourself organized that way. I'm excited to see your progress. Yeah. Amanda Mucella. I can't help but sing your name. I'm not sure why it is, but it just
I like it, Erin.
just happens.
I'm not gonna be here on Saturday, unfortunately. So I just wanted to say to all of you, thank you. It's been a total joy being here with all of you and learning and growing and celebrating. I did send you my video, Erin. I just sent it to that info@mastectomyguide email. So I don't know if you're going to share it with everybody, but I did say a little something in there for all of you, but I thought I better just say it now just in case I don't get to see you. And yeah, so for myself, I think for me, the biggest celebration is actually I feel confident in myself as a therapist for probably the first time in forever where I'm finally, there is no like inkling in the back of my mind, like, you're not good enough or you don't know enough or like, you know, that imposter syndrome. Like, I'm like, damn, yeah, I am a good therapist. So that's big for me because I've been practicing for 21 years and it's always like, oh, well, you know, somebody else knows more, or they know this or they know that. And I'm okay with what I don't know finally. And just kind of leaning into just being like, that's okay, but I'm still good enough. So anyways, that's my big celebration through this program.
Yeah,
That's a
you
very
are,
good
girl.
celebration.
You're good enough.
Yeah. You can
Never
do the good enough dance. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So what do you think it is in that changed in your mindset to be okay with what you don't know and therefore bringing strength to what you do know? What do you think made that change for you?
I don't really know. I think it's just that it's so vast, like how much is involved in all this. And I think maybe having a bit more of a focus on something as opposed to just like being that, like, I'm happy being a general practitioner too. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy. I feel like I've always kind of dabbled a little here, dabbled a little there. And I think now this just kind of brings all those things that I've dabbled in kind of together and gives me a more streamlined focus and purpose. So I feel like I can kind of like grow into, like, it makes me feel like more defined. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, and so I think that carries into everything. All of a sudden it's like this aha where I'm like, yeah, like you do know a lot about like knee and hip replacements and how to recover and rehab for that. And like, you do know this and you've able to help this person. And I knew all that before, but I don't know. It's a mindset shift. I think it's finally like just clicked where it's like, yeah. And this is the first thing I think that I've been able to do for me because I wanted to and to grow my practice. Up until now, I've been mostly mom. And so this was like a big step for me to even take this mentorship and be like, yeah, like I'm putting myself first. I'm putting my career first right now. I'm doing this for me because my kids are kind of at that transition. I got one that just graduated this year and another one going into grade 10. So this is like me thinking ahead to the future. And also me finally going like, okay, you know, you've been knowing this for a long time that you need to shift your practice to have longevity, but finally taking those steps towards something. So maybe it's all of that. Yeah. anyways, that's it.
All the components. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, it's so amazing. And I really understand what you mean about now you feel like you have a focus and you've got some purpose to what you're doing as opposed to, a little of this, a little of that. And you can still continue to do a little of this and a little of that, but that's not your defining feature now. It's like I really have a depth of knowledge that maybe you didn't feel like you had before. And time of life too, that makes a difference. Like if I was trying to do this when I had trying to put the mastectomy guide together when I had young kids or, even like school age kids, it would have been a different story. But now, my son's older, he doesn't need me in the same way. And so then I can start focusing on things that are different. So yeah, time of life, that also matters. So thank you. I'm so glad we have a chance to hear from you and share your thoughts and experience with us. It's so valuable, so beautiful. Yeah. All right. Well, this has been so fun as always. I really value our connections. I value our time together. I value getting little windows into your lives. Those of you who fold laundry when I talk, I know who you are. I know you like to have your hands busy when you're listening. And, when I get to your kids, I get to your pets, like all of it's so wonderful. So we're going to have our wonderful send off tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Friday. I will send out the follow-up email with the registration for the alumni circle. And I will be looking at the videos tomorrow, and then we'll be in the background compiling your information about your practice sessions. Okay. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.